Welcome back to IMS Work Holding Solutions. Today we're going to go over the Titan 4M from the Titans Academy. This is going to be a model and then cam, so this will be a two-part video. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is make sure I'm in design, and I'm going to create a sketch. So right here is our create sketch function. And the way that I have mine set up is traditional SolidWorks, where my Z-axis actually runs along this plane. This is my Y-axis, and red is your X-axis. So I'm going to draw on my Z-plane, twist everything around to me, and then the first sketch I'm actually going to create on the Titan 4M, if you're looking at the print, is the base triangle. So I'm going to start that by creating a line, and then on the print it starts off from center and drags out to 1.155. There's our first line, and then it tells me to go up to 2 inches on center. So here we go. So here is our first leg. Our second leg is made up of the exact same thing. If you want to mirror something, and this is a perfect example with this center line, you're going to do create and mirror. The objects that you want to mirror are the actual lines, and then the mirror line is the line you want to mirror across. Once you click on that axis, you'll actually see a phantom line of what's going to take shape. Just click OK. So at this point we have our triangle drawn. The only thing left to do is the 50 thousandths radius on the very tips. So I can do that in here by going to fillet, selecting the two sides that I want, and changing that to 0.05. There's the first one, second one, and third one. Once that's done, we're going to click finish sketch. And there is our triangle. At this point, we want to turn this sketch into a model. So we're going to go to extrude. The profile is what you actually want to extrude. I'm going to click both sides of that triangle. And if you actually hold your mouse down, if you've got the same preferences that I do, and I'll show them in just a second, but by holding the scroll wheel down on your mouse, it allows you to orbit everything around to throw the, you can actually grab up here and move it around, but to throw the axis off so you can look at an object in any shape, way, or view. And you'll notice that upper right hand corner up there, the square is actually pivoting with me. So my preferences, if you want to take a second and set your preferences up like mine, you go in where your name is at, hit preferences. Once you're done, click apply and OK. So back to the solid creation. We've done selected our profile. I'll do that again. We're going to select that first half and that second half. Then we're going to extrude this up 750 thousandths. Once we're done, we're going to click just enter. And there is our triangle. To refocus, we're just going to go back to our front view and scroll that around. Now, at this point, the only thing left to do is the 3 holes, the inner pocket, and also the 3 side cuts. So now we're going to quite simply open that sketch where we can see it, because it actually comes off of this point up here for the first hole reference, the point out here for this reference, and then we'll mirror across. So I'm going to zoom in and create our first line. So I'm going to sketch on top of the part profile itself, and my first point is going to be the end right there. Now if you're having a problem getting it to snap, don't worry, it happens. To get that geometry back, I'm just going to hover, just click anywhere on either one of these lines, hover over the line for a second, you'll see that crosshatch, that X, and you drag that straight up, it'll snap right there. Then I do the same thing over here. This is just putting the geometry back in its place and having the old geometry as a reference point. So now what we're going to do is create a line from here up to 1.637. So 1.637. There's the center of that circle. And there again, this is only for reference from me. If you don't want to do this, this is not required. The second hole position is actually this location right here. So we're going to click line, or L. Now you'll notice I can't actually hover on that line, so you'll have to do what I did earlier. Hover over till you see that crosshatch, drag down, and it will snap. You can hit T for trim, and you can cut that line off if it bothers you. It doesn't bother me, so I normally just leave it. So now at this point, I need to create a line from the center out to 0.828. Now I'll need to create a line from here up to 1.89. Oops, sorry. 0.189. Fat fingered out and looked at it wrong. Once I've got that created, I can go to my circle function and I can hover over this dot and drag up, and you'll notice I'll get 2 blue dotted lines right here indicating my intersection point where that circle is at. Then I'll click and drag out. That circle is a 1032. So if you don't know what size to make it, you can make it any size. I'm going to make it 170, which is close to 1032. Then my second point is up here. Drag that out, 0.170. And then I'm going to do the same mirror function. So create mirror, select my object, select my mirror line. Oops. Select my object, and then select mirror line, and then select your line. There's our hole. We'll click OK. Alright, so at this point, the only thing left to do is put the holes in. So we're going to start by selecting hole. We're going to select multiple holes. We need to call our sketch back up. It went away. And then we have to define what kind of hole it is. So it's a countersink, threaded, offset, and we're not going to do offset because it's saying full. Actually, if you look at the print, that thread is going all the way to the bottom. And then it's not flat, it is angled. So we're going to start by selecting our holes. So at this point, we have all of our data in. And this number's a little bit wrong right here. Let's change that to 0.375 because this is showing it going all the way to the bottom. Make sure that you have all these in, so it'll be 375 thousandths deep, 205 thousandths chamfer. I am using 90 degrees because I'm actually going to use a 90-degree drill mill from HTC. 118 degree drill point. Our thread size is a 190. It's a 1032 2B class fit, right-handed, and I'm going to click model, so it models the thread instead of leaving just a picture inside of a hole. And then at this point, the only thing we got to do is hit OK. Now you'll see the chamfer and the thread, and if I get this angled right, you'll see the point in the bottom of the hole. So them 3 holes are done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn that sketch off, and then we're going to work on the pocket. So at this point, that pocket is really simple to do, and I'm actually going to go create another sketch for this, even though you don't have to. You could work off the first sketch, but I'm going to work off of a new sketch. So I'm going to do sketch, top of my part. It will automatically go to the face of it. And then we are going to draw literally another triangle stacked on top of this one. So at this point, only thing we got to do is click line, drag that up 2 inches, right? I don't know if it'll automatically pick up. It won't. So 2 inches. Drag this over and out, that 1.155. And then here we go again. So pretty easy to do, not very difficult. I am going to use a technique here where you're running parallel with it, and I'm going to just stack it on top. That way, missed a line there. That way I don't have to worry about it. And then I'll trim it away later. So at this point, there's my triangle that now exists. And then that inner pocket is actually an offset of 174. So now the only thing I have to do is go to my offset tab, double click there, and type in 0.174. There is my offset amount. I'm going to click OK. And then now all that I got left to do is put chamfers in. So now, pretty straightforward and pretty easy. So I'm going to come in here and click fillet. Here and here, that chamfer, well not chamfer, that radius is 0.189. And I've got the same thing here and here and here and here. So that's done. Just click enter. That will go away. And then I have the outside radii. Now it is actually saying the outside radiuses are also 189. So let's do that. Let's do the outside radius of 189. So fill it. There, and there. I know this looks a little funny, but there we go. So there is all of our radiuses in. So now at this point, only thing we've got left to do is extrude these little end pieces down on the ends, and also the pocket. Now they are two different extrusions, which is simple to do. You're going to do extrude. I'm going to do the pocket first, and that I believe is a 1/2 inch. Nope, 650 thousandths deep. So minus 0.650. Then I'm going to turn this sketch back on and do extrude again. And then I'm going to go around and select all these little pieces and do minus point. What's the depth on those? I'll find it here in a minute. 375 thousandths. So it's in a little note at the top of the triangle. So there's the end pieces. Now at this point, only thing I got left to do is the side cut ends. Turn all the sketches off so you can see what's going on here. The only thing I got left to do is these side cut ends. Now them side cut ends are actually on this plane. If you're looking at the print, you'll notice the bottom of it is 375. So I'm going to create a sketch, and I'm actually going to click on that plane. Now you'll notice at this point that plane is cutting that part in half. That's exactly what I want. Go back to our front view, and then we have some really rather large circles to create. So our center point is actually up here. So we're going to create a line, drag a line up to 667 thousandths. There's our center point, and then from there we can do all of our dimensioning. Well, we got a center point here. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I need that. What am I thinking? That's the center of all of them. So I do need that point, and then our other point is way out here. So there again, line, drag it out. Line, whoop. Might not be able to do that trick here. No, I can. There it is. And there we go. Then we'll trim that off. So there's our origin here. Here's our center point. Our other origin is technically here. So at this point, I'm going to create some lines. The first one is from here out. So 2.222, enter. And the next one goes from here up. And I know this doesn't look like your print, but believe me, it works. 1.949. Now at this point, the center of my circle is right there. So if I change the circle, I get my blue line to come up here. I get my blue line to come there. There's my circle. I'm going to drag out and type in 4. The print gives you a radius. Fusion wants diameter. So there's my 4-inch diameter. There it is. So now at this point, only thing you got to do is actually copy this 2 times. Very simple. We'll go to create. We'll go to circular pattern. Object is our circle. The center point is our point right here. And then it'll ask you how many times. 3 times includes the original. So if I do 2 times, it's only going to do it once. So this is a little bit weird right here. It's asking how many total objects that you want, not how many times you want to actually copy it. So type 3 and click OK. There's our 3 locations. Then at this point, we are done with the sketch. We're going to extrude. Click the 3 circles. And then come back and fill in what it missed. So now at this point, we're going to offset that up 0.125. It's automatically going to default to cut because it's showing that we're into the part. Just click OK. Once the Fusion gets done rendering it, you are left with this shape right here. This is the completed part minus the chamfers. Chamfers are really easy to put on. We're going to go to modify, fillet, click here and here, and we're going to type in 0.02. So I put a 20,000 chamfer on there. You can really put anything on there that you want to. It's your part after all. So if there's any questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Also, stay tuned for part 2, which will be the cam side of this part.